Coming up on Mountain News this morning, flood survivors can still make FEMA appeals more than 1 year after the flooding. And archery classes in the Commonwealth might soon be coming to an end due to the 2022 Bipartisan Safer Communities Act.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. We are coming up on 5 a.m. on August 16th. Now let's check in with Chief Forecaster Brandon Robinson for a look at your forecast this morning. And Brandon, more students are going back to school today, and it seems like there's going to be some great weather from now on.
Fantastic weather.
I'm
mean,
looking
you
forward
couldn't ask
to
for
it.
any better weather than we're going to get today. So
Yes,
again,
and yesterday you've been talking about that fall feel for a second.
fall
Yesterday
preview.
was amazing.
Exactly. It really turned out well yesterday. I cut the grass and it was just the breeze, the sunshine. It was just fantastic yesterday. Basically a carbon copy today. Let's talk about it this morning. A little chilly out there in spots. Let's take a look at our camera network first, and you'll see there just a little patchy fog in some areas, but nothing too bad out there across the region from the studios here in Hazard to Jenkins to Moorhead to Pikeville to London Corbin Airport and Buffalo Mountain. All calm this morning. 50s in Southwest Virginia, also 55 there in Somerset, low 60s. Pretty much everywhere else. I'd say that Middlesboro will probably be the next to drop into the 50s. Grundy probably one of the ones to drop into the 50s, but again, a lot of cooler air out there this morning. I actually rode to work with the window down. That's felt pretty nice as we head out the door. So we're going to continue to see those nice conditions there for a little while. And again, it's going to be a very nice day as we go across the region. Take a look at that out the door forecast, and we're going to see that it's going to bring us some upper 70s for daytime highs with a mix of sun and clouds. Olivia?
All right, thank you, Brandon. The flood last July left thousands of people without a home or with one that needed major repairs. And because of the level of disaster, FEMA applications were available, meaning Eastern Kentuckians were eligible to receive up to $37,900. However, many people say they didn't receive that amount, and some say they didn't get anything at all. Yesterday, I was able to speak with a disaster response attorney about how FEMA appeals are still on the table for people still in the recovery process. As rebuilding efforts continue, Apple Red attorney Whitney Bailey says many people do not know that FEMA appeals are still an option.
There's not a deadline window that you will be cut off from sending in additional appeals. And there is still plenty of time to appeal your FEMA decision, your SBA decision, if you were offered a loan.
Saying 1 year later, she is still meeting with new clients. And a common question people ask is if they are taking away from someone else.
You're not taking away from anyone if you decide to submit an appeal or anything else that you need to do to try to get your household back to a pre-disaster state.
For every situation, Bailey says there are legal aid attorneys willing to help find a solution.
If you were deemed ineligible by FEMA from the get-go, most of the time it's proving that you owned the property. So having whatever deed is recorded at the clerk's office, whether your name's on it or not, we can take a look at your situation, see if there's something that we can do as far as helping draft a new deed or, getting a hold of the PVA card.
Saying she understands the process is time consuming and exhausting.
You aren't doing yourself any favors not applying, and that money's still there for you to get and help move forward through this recovery process.
And it's money you could be missing out on to help in the recovery process. Apple Red legal aid services are free to the public. Bailey says you will not be charged for meeting with her to get help on your appeals. The flood intake hotline number is 844-478-0099. Another slight back-to-school delay for some students in Letcher County. Classes will now be in session at West Whitesburg Elementary on Monday, August 21st. The elementary school was also set to have its open house yesterday, but that was canceled as work continues inside the building. Whitesburg Middle School will start its new school year today. Students in the Commonwealth who take part in archery programs are left wondering what the future of their sport looks like. The 2022 Bipartisan Safer Communities Act has received backlash from Kentucky officials who say its intent has been misconstrued to eliminate funding for hunting and archery programs in schools in the name of school safety. They argue the importance of the program, saying they instill crucial skills.
There's never been a school shooter that's been a part of our archery program that I'm aware of. There's not been any safety incidents. I don't think that archery in the schools and school safety are in conflict in any way, shape, or form.
U.S. Senator Rand Paul and several state senators from Kentucky have made their concerns known in letters to the Biden administration. The Breathitt Elementary School doors are now open for students after a 5-year construction process was completed. WYMT's Chandler Wilcox tells us why administrators feel the school will help them reset after recent disasters.
There is a new home for preschool through 2nd graders in Breathitt County. Breathitt Elementary creates a new era for the school system.
And we've got a primary school, preschool through 2nd grade here in the new facility.
Administrators say more attention to those grades, specifically with reading skills, can set a foundation for success.
It's a huge change when you get to 3rd grade on, the type of things that's expected of you. And if you can't read by that time, and we've seen that in the past, that, kids, they fall behind. So we're really wanting to make sure that we give them a really good start.
There are additions that impact the community as well, like the auditorium.
We have a new auditorium that could be used for many different things, art, music, and so forth. We've also tried to pick up physical education courses again in the gym.
The school also meets new safety policies with a safe room.
We're close to all our EMTs now, and we're really close to the hospital. And then also this campus here provided we can provide more of a safe environment with their agreements with their school resource officers.
With a new building and format, the school year serves as a reset for administrators and teachers.
It's definitely a reset. It's a little challenging. We've got you're bringing staffs and kids from 2 different schools together, to form this school. But it has been really, really good.
Administrators are ready to see a fruitful outcome from the transition. In Breathitt County, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
Breathitt County Schools recently sold Marie Roberts Elementary, which is now owned by Riverside Christian School. They actually start school this morning. The Harlan Green Dragons will soon have a new football field and track. Earlier this week, the school board approved the $5.6 million investment to renovate the football stadium in the Joe Gilly Athletic Complex. Updates will include a natural turf, track, and new field house. Superintendent C.D. Morton says they hope to also renovate baseball, softball, and tennis facilities.
We believe that shortly in the future that we'll be able to come back and address the needs that we have at our baseball and softball complex, as well as our tennis courts. So those 3 programs are in fairly decent shape. And this is just the beginning of where we're hoping to go for the Joe Gilly Athletic Complex over there.
Morton says this comes after a $10 million renovation at the Central Street campus. The football stadium renovations are expected to be finished in June of 2024. Thanks for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News this morning. Coming up, the final Country Music Highway Tribute is getting ready to take place this weekend.
And the fall preview continues across the mountains today, but if you're a fan of the warmth, I have something for you too. The latest forecast is on the way in about 3 minutes.